Good afternoon. I hope that you are well from wherever you're joining us from. This is TV47 News Now. Time to bring you up to speed on what has been taking shape for the better part of the day in our afternoon's bulletin live from our broadcasting center here in Nairobi, Kenya. We have a lot lined up for you here on TV47 News Now. We will start off with matters teachers here in the country, where a section of KUPPET leaders in Busia County have joined their colleagues who are protesting the move by the union's National Secretary General Akielo Misori to call off the teacher strike without involving them, saying it is a betrayal of teachers. According to the Executive Secretary of KUPPET Busia Branch, Moffat Okisai, said that they are disappointed the strike was called off and their demands were not addressed by TSC. Nonetheless, Okisai is asking for the National Governing Council to hold a joint meeting and release whether the strike is on or off.
Our disappointment, our Secretary General and other NEB members called the strike without the demands having been fulfilled. Teachers are so much demoralized. How can you give teachers a 1 hour's notice to resume duty when a number of them work over 50 kilometers away from their stations? Some had even traveled to Nairobi, to Mombasa and other towns. The National Governing Council had not been sanctioned. We would like to dissociate ourselves from that particular pronouncement. Still requesting for the National Governing Council to be convened so that we can vote whether the strike to be called off or the strike continues if the demands of the teachers have not been met. We shall request for that particular statement to be rescinded by the National Governing Council.
All right, and that is the situation in the country on matters teachers strike. Elsewhere, still on matters education, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD Chairperson Professor Simon Gisharu and the KICD Chief Executive Officer Professor Charles Gondo have commenced on a journey to review the implementation of the 2020-2025 strategic plan. KICD CEO says that the council is set to look at the challenges and come up with a new strategic plan that will align with the bottom-up economic agenda and input economic challenges facing the country at the moment.
The main task we have during these days is to review the implementation of the 2020-2025 strategic plan. That means we are looking at successes, we are looking at the challenges, we are identifying what we could do better. But next is to consider a strategic plan for 2023-2027. The reason is to align the new strategic plan to the bottoms-up economic transformation agenda, the rallying call for the new government, and of course to input other parameters that have come in the developmental socio-economic challenges that the country is facing. The council has graciously accepted that we can also take time to look at some policies that have been outstanding and which are critical to enhance efficiency of the Institute's mandate, and this will include the educational broadcasting policy, the audit charter, and also look at the complaints. How do we arise as a result of matters that Edu channel? So we want to thank Council for finding time off their busy schedules to be able to do this. We are getting guidance. The Institute will be on the right trajectory to make progress.
Still on matters education, Embakasi South Member of Parliament Musili Mawathe has criticized the government's university funding model, calling it prohibitively expensive and a barrier for students from slum areas. He demands an immediate review of the funding system. The Member of Parliament made these remarks at an event where Hope Mobility Kenya donated wheelchairs to support individuals with their disabilities in their daily activities. These donations is a significant relief and addresses many of the challenges faced by people living with disabilities.
Hii ni round 1, tuendelea kupeana wale ambao wanapewa leo ni wale ambao walijiandikisha. Lakini crutches hazikukuja. Mlikuja mkapimwa crutches hazijafika, lakini tumesema kwa nini wheelchairs zikae kwenye store, tunangoja hizo zingine. Si tupeane hizi kwanza, si ndio? Watu waanze kuwa na wheelchair kidogo, sivyo? Kidemo unangoja zile zingine ambazo ziko ngambo, zikikuja pia tutawaita tupeane. Hivyo ni sawa. Jambo la pili. Kuna kitu kinakera hapa nchini. Huu mfumo wa education ya university, funding ya university, mfumo wake ni mbovu kabisa. Unastahili kurekebishwa. Kwa vile unapata mtoto wa Mukuru amewekwa band 4, anaambiwa atafute 126,000 shillings. Atatoa wapi? Haiwezekani. Unapokwenda kwa appeal unaambiwa ya kwamba ungoje, but in the meantime wewe lipa nusu ya ile umeitishwa. What do you mean lipa nusu ya ile umeitishwa?
Tumekuja hapa kuwaletea wheelchairs na pia aina zingine nyingi za mobility devices ambazo mtaweza kutumia, na venye amesema msifiche watoto, tuko hapa kwa ajili yenu. So mlete watoto tuweze kuwapatia, kama ni wheelchair waweze kwenda shule, kwa sababu kama venye mmesikia mwenye mwanzilishi wa Hope Mobility anaitwa Michael Panther, na Michael Panther anatumia wheelchair.
Nilikuwa na changamoto kidogo, sikuwa na hii kitu, basi after kupata hii kitu kidogo naweza jisaidia nayo. So I was like, nilikuwa nakaa idle, kwa watu wanakaa hivi kwa mavuli, na mimi nakaa peke yangu kwa nyumba. After kupata, inashukuru Mungu, naenda huko kwao, nakaa na wao, naongea na wao. I feel like I'm alive.
We don't need to hide ourselves when such situation tend to attempt on us. Don't hide yourself.
Elsewhere, health workers in Nakuru have threatened to down their tools and paralyze operations in all health facilities across the county should their demands remain unmet. Speaking in Nakuru, led by Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Nurses Nakuru branch, Rose Master, said for over 2 months they have not received their salaries, saying the county executive has failed to listen to their demands. In addition, they lamented a number of issues, including understaffing, health workers to be confirmed on permanent and pensionable, discrimination in promotion, among other demands.
I'm alone in Gilgil. Alone. Imagine 7 to 7.
My name is Rose Master, Secretary Kenya National Union of Nurses. We have a problem with salaries. We've worked for 2 months in this county and we've not been paid. Tumelipwa ya 1 month, of which I believe hiyo pesa yote imeenda kwa madeni. Watu wamerudi pale pale. Secondly, we have a problem with shortages in our facilities. You find one nurse managing like 40 to 60 patients. Is that really in order? No. Eh? By the way, kazi hata kama iko si ati ni kazi tunafanya ile tunaita go through. Na tukiendelea hivi kama hii salary yetu haitadunda kwa banks, remember hatutaendelea na kazi.
I'm Nekesa Edna. I'm the Gender Secretary, Kenya Union of Clinical Officers. And what we are seeing in this county is very demeaning to our profession and other professions, because you find that employment which does not have any security is actually something which is not so conducive for any person per se. Because majority of the employees, just as Master has said, I will reiterating that people are not being given priority as to when they started working here to be granted maybe a permanent position.
My name is Patrick Jogona, and I'm the Secretary of Kenya National Union of Medical Laboratory Scientific Officers. We have been working day and night, and there is no allowance for laboratory Other cadres, they have their allowances for night duties, but you have never considered us to have that allowance.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
From Nakuru County to Kisii County, where doctors, clinicians and nurses have threatened to down tools if the county government fails to address their grievances. They have issued a 14-day ultimatum. Dr. Agri Orenyo, KMPDU Nyanza Secretary General, emphasized the need for Kisii County to honor the Memorandum of Understanding signed this year, detailing the return to work formula.
We need more than 1,000 nurses to cover the shortage. Employment, that's an issue. Going to school is an issue. Payment of salaries, delay, like right now, they have not paid the deductions. Bank loans, they are accumulating the interest. So we are asking the county government of Kisii, what are you doing to your members? These are your first soldiers.
We are not negotiating anything. Just promote our people. Bomet recently promoted people to Job Said. Those who stagnated from 2018. What is happening with our county? And the money was returned recently, 500 million.
So we are giving actually the county government of Kisii a notice of 14 days. Kindly honor the memorandum of understanding signed with nurses, honor the return to work formulas of the doctors and clinical officers. As much as time has lapsed, most of the agreements agreed upon was supposed to lapse by 1st September. But with Kisii County, nothing tangible has happened. So kindly, for the next 14 days, do that. If you can't do that, we'll back to where we were. And as healthcare workers, we don't fear striking. It's more of daring a fish.
Now, elsewhere, the vetting of Uasin Gishu's Deputy Governor-elect Evans Kapkea concluded today, with now what is expected to be either the MCAs to rubber stamp his nomination or not is expected to be issued next week. This follows the resignation of Deputy Governor John Barorot, who reportedly secured a new job in a communication services company. Uasin Gishu County Assembly Speaker Philip Moige announced that the appointment vote for Kapkea will take place next Wednesday.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. My name is...
Finalized the vetting of the nominee, so we will retreat as a members of the appointment committee for some time. Then on next week, we are on recess. Next week, we will table the report on the appointment, whether being accepted by the committee or rejected. We will table that report on Tuesday next week, and probably maybe on Wednesday we will debate in the house.
County Assembly kwa kunipea hiyo nafasi, yale maswali yote nimeulizwa, kuona suitability yangu kama naweza kuwa deputy governor wa Uasin Gishu, na nimejibu vile naweza. Sheria imefuatwa vizuri, na sasa hatuwezi sema sana kwa sababu bado hatujamaliza. We are still deputy governor nominee, na bado kuna kazi ambayo County Assembly wanafanya kisheria.
Elsewhere, Kajiado County is poised to have additional support from the World Bank under the second phase of the Kenya Support Development Program. Speaking during that forum, Kajiado Governor Joseph Olelenku said that the county is rooting for value chain key of products such as milk, meat, hides and skins and tomatoes, among other departments such as water and environment. During the launch, Devolution Principal Secretary Teresia Mbaika was represented by the Director of Capacity Building and Technical Assistance Kennedy Nyambati, among other senior officials.
This program will continue to strengthen devolution, and as a country we are proud that devolution has really assisted in bringing governance and resources closer to the people at the grassroots, and therefore Kenya Devolution Support Program 2 will build into strengthening devolution.
Look forward to having the program successful in terms of implementation, It's going to support the county executive as well as the county assembly and the county public service board all through. And the implementation plan has been developed in consultation with the county leadership.
The Medic East Africa exhibition has kicked off in Nairobi. Today, the engagement was centered on laboratory management, where key stakeholders have showcased their innovations in the laboratories. The three-day conference will equally touch on clinical microbiology and parasitology, as well as molecular diagnostics and genomics.
Today, we are faced with the challenge of Mpox. I was listening to media this morning, and they say there's serious outbreak in Congo. How are we getting to know that information? It comes from diagnosis, analysis, and that data is brought to the face of the public to appreciate. Now, it is incumbent upon us as laboratory experts to make sure that when I generate relevant data, let it be known. Again, it should be based on the scientific, processes, procedures.
We're very excited to be here in 2024, bringing over 200 exhibitors, over 8,000 professional visitors from 20 different countries across the world.
To empower the healthcare sector in Kenya, we will be running 6 different CPD accredited conferences. These would be taking place over a course of 3 days, starting from radiology, universal healthcare, to parasitology, clinical microbiology, as well as different topics within the laboratory domain.
In other news, Kiambu landowners have a reason to smile after Kiambu County Assembly repealed what was termed as Punitive Rating and Valuation Act of 2016 that has been a thorn after imposing taxes of their parcels of land. Karori member of County Assembly Peter Wainaina said the planning committee made 8 amendments where they have repealed Section 45 and Section 46 that has given Kiambu County government to sell the land after the owner fails to pay the tax of the particular plot. Majority Whip and Ndeya member of County Assembly Nelson Monga welcomed the amendments as a gift to Kiambu people, where he said it is for greater benefits after freeing the land in totality.
The matter that has been a matter of great concern to our great people. We have received petitions from our citizens across our county, and their concern was that there was a law that was passed in 2016 that imposed land rates on freehold land.
But also, they should also relook at that law which they passed, and they have done an amendment, but they have not actually looked at the issue of freeing the freehold land. So I want to celebrate my colleagues and this House for the task that they have just performed this afternoon of actually repealing several sections of that law. And the most interesting one was actually that of deleting sections that were relating to charging freehold lands.
Vulnerable families who lost their livestock due to drought in Laikipia North Sub-County have benefited with gala goats worth 17.4 million that are aimed for breed improvement in the area. The gala goats were distributed by National Drought Management Authority in partnership with Indigenous Movement for Peace Advancement and Conflict Transformation. The exercise was aimed at boosting and also restocking in the pastoral communities after their livestock were wiped out by perennial drought.
Today we are here to launch the Gala Corps, which is a project that is we are partnering with the European Union, and we are distributing 250 male. Already it was done by Impact, which also is part of our partners, which distributed 720 male, female, and Mugokodo Ward and Mugokodo East is part of the areas that we identified that they should benefit from Gala Corps.
Kupitia kwa kiangazi ambayo imeshuhudiwa kwa miaka 5, wameweza kupoteza mifugo wao wengi sana. Na kupitia kwa ushirikiano wa serikali ya kitaifa na wafadhili wengine kama vile Impact na European Union, wameweza kuleta mradi ambaye ni wa kupea mbuzi almaarufu wa gala goats kwa community, ambayo ni mbuzi ambayo wanaweza stahimili hali ya kiangazi ama pahali pakavu, ili kuweza kukuza uchumi wao, kwa sababu mara mingi